Let us continue our discussion on high-speed designs. So, whether it be high-speed design or any uh, electronics design, impedance is an important parameter. So, we might have started learning about this from our academics when we were kids, right? The Ohm's law, where the voltage, resistance, and current relation we could read, and finally the resistance there we read it as voltage by current, right? So it's the same resistance that we are talking here in the PCBs as well, but in the PCB we have, in addition to the resistance, we also have reactance. So this resistance and reactance combine together to form the impedance on the PCB. So if you see the image here, so this is the PCB trace that is laid out, and there is a dielectric, the green, and then there is a ground layer beneath. So this is a trace, right? And then this is a trace, conducting trace. So when two conducting traces are separated by a dielectric material, it reminds us of a capacitor, right? So that means there is a capacitor on a PCB trace at every point, and then the trace that you see here would have some inductance associated with it. So when we read about the transmission line model, similarly the same one we have talked that PCB also would be having or the high speed signals when traveling on a PCB would see the channel as a transmission line, right? So that same scenario that we are showing here, where each line has example, each section of the transmission line, there will be number of sections if we treat it that way. For example, if you treat this as a particular section, so a inductance and then associated capacitance, so these combine to form the impedance on the PCB. So the effective resistance of the PCB, of the traces that are laid out on the PCB, is called the impedance. So when signals travel through this PCB trace, these signals see the impedance on these traces, which is very important from the performance perspective of those signals, or the performance of the entire PCB as a unit that you use it in your system. Now, what should be the impedance? So now we talked about impedance, right? So what should be the impedance? Impedance generally is 50 ohms everywhere. That has been there from the coaxial cable concept, and impedance is commonly used as 50 ohms, but based on the signaling standard. So signaling standard, we meant there are differential signals here, there are RF signals, so there are different signals that need to be routed on the PCB. So depending on the signaling standard, even differential signals we have, whether it be USB, SATA, anything. So depending on the type of signaling that is used, impedance varies. So it is not just 50 ohms that we are talking here, the differential impedance shall vary. And then what does this impedance depend on? So the impedance basically depends on the trace width. So this is the trace here, and then this is the dielectric, and if you have a ground here. So the impedance basically depends on the trace width, that means the width of the trace that is being routed on the PCB, and then the track thickness, that means whatever the copper track that is laid out, right, on the PCB, what thickness you are using, whether you are using 1 ohs or 0.5 ohs or 2 ohs, whatever. So depending, the impedance depends on that as well, and it also depends on the dielectric thickness that is used, and then the kind of dielectric material that is used and these dielectric materials have a property called dielectric constant. All these parameters determine the impedance of a PCB. So we have number of impedance calculators online available for free to use, where you can determine your impedance of the PCB by using all the by using those calculators and do the PCB layout. Now, when this particular PCB impedance calculation is done by you, finally to produce a PCB more than a 2-layer PCB, we mean whether it be 4-layer, 6-layer, 8-layer, these PCB needs a stack up. So the stack up definition is done using the individual impedance calculations per layer, and generally the PCB layout engineer or the design engineer do know which layers, which signals, in which layers the signals are routed, and so they give a consolidated input to the manufacturing houses, where the PCB fabricators basically do look into these and come up with a stack up which can be used in the design. So it's just the impedance is the entire point around your PCB is going to revolve. So we will talk more about impedance in the coming videos. We just wanted to give a glimpse of what happens with the impedance and how it is taken. So there are other concepts like controlled impedance, which we will talk in the next videos, and then we will take a sample stack up and see how the impedance is seen across, and to come up with that impedance, what is the kind of thickness of the dielectric that is required, and if there is a variation in the impedance. Example, we talked in the previous slide that all the impedances are 50 ohms, and depending on the signaling standard the impedance could be different, right? So if at all we don't maintain a 50 ohm, let us assume instead of 50 ohm we maintain some 35 ohms example, what happens to the signal, how these signals are treated by the PCB, and whether the data transmitted from the source to the termination, whether it will be received correctly or not, we will be talking about that in the future videos. Every design engineer who is working whether in a schematic domain or layout domain should need to know what is the impedance and what are the implications of having not having the required impedance. Please stay glued to our videos. Please subscribe to our channel. Please like our video. Please post your comments and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.